Hi guys, so today is the 29th of August 2021 and I wanted to do a garden tour today. It's going to be fairly quick. There has been a lot going on. I haven't really been able to do very much. I'm still not really capable of doing very much at the moment. So things are going a little bit wild and things have been left that should have been done a lot sooner. And other things are just doing what they does. So we're going to start off out the front and in the polytunnel, and yeah, we're going to go from there. Cool, come with me. Okay, so when you guys last saw the polytunnel, it was a lot greener than it is now. It was a lot more jungle-like than it is now. We have been hit by blight, which is devastating because our tomatoes are only just setting fruit, which I will show you in a moment, but we've had to get rid of half our tomato plants, and what is left has been literally stripped bare of all its leaves to try and save the fruit that we've got and get them to continue to grow, and so that we can get something out of this year's harvest, maybe. Okay, so we've put one over here in the corner here. This was the first plant to come up with blight. Look, we've got another leaf that's popped up there now this morning. Right. And the one beside it, so we're leaving them there, but they have both got fruit on them, so we can't really toss them out as much as we might like to. Now at the back here, you will recognize these guys. This is the ox heart. We're waiting for this particular fruit to develop, and we have one Russian tomato, one. So we're hoping beyond hope that that will actually come to something. We're also aware that tomatoes actually can photosynthesize through their stems, so we're not too scared about what we've just done. This plant over here hasn't shown any signs of blight yet, but it also doesn't have any tomatoes on it, so it probably will be gotten rid of today because we just can't afford the space for tomatoes that are just not going to do anything. So yeah, now these are all these ones at the front are all the golden cherries. Well, they're supposed to be the golden cherries. That one to me looks like a Britain's breakfast coming up, but all of these particular tomatoes have fruit, so we're just hoping that they will develop their fruit enough that we can actually get a little bit off this year. Perhaps, we'll see. But on the plus side, we have loads of Saccharomyces burritos coming on, loads and loads and loads, which is awesome. The market more, these are the last ones. They're about to go poof. There's another one over here, but they're pretty much on the way out. But that's okay, because we've got loads, and I have plans. Our front herb bed is in desperate need of weeding. We need to get that done. It will be done. We can barely see the sage underneath whatever this is, but everything else has gone very ballistic this year, which is kind of cool, actually. I really like the look of it. But over here, this is our front Brassica bed. Now we are getting the broccolis coming through, the Cavallo Nero. Any romescos and cauliflowers that we have in here seem to be long ones, so they might take a while. Oh no, there's a grub. Oh no, where'd you go? Oh. We've had some really weird caterpillars this year that have been like furry ones, not the green ones. And we've been trying really hard to keep on top of them. But unfortunately, because we haven't been able to build a proper cage, they've been doing... basically, the butterfly's been getting underneath this. So, yeah. But until we can get a proper cage built, we've pretty much just got to wear it. But there's not that much damage done, which is good. There is a little bit of leaf damage, but nothing major. But they'll come up. Now, these squash out the front have been doing a lot better than the ones out the back. Oops. We still have some Courgettes coming on. There's loads in here waiting to come out when they're ready. And on the back plant as well. There's some in there. Although we have had some slug damage, it's not so bad as it was. These are still flowering. These are some of our patty pans. And they seem to be the golden patty pans, which is, look at that! Look at that right there, that's coming with me. I like them at this size. I don't like leaving them for too long. But we have got a golden one in here doing its thing. So yeah. Yeah, see, look, there's some more in there. But as you can see, the slugs had a field day. Now we've got to the mint bed, which is ready to be harvested all over again. And the nettles, as you can see, are waiting to be made into compost tea, which is awesome. And we have a gazillion of the autumn strawberries coming on, which is really cool. We've still got loads of runners to sort out, but again, we just haven't got there yet. This is our back stuff. The beans are doing okay. They're doing all right. They need a little bit of food, I think, but we're actually getting some beans, which is good. And we've got our first Nasturtium flower, which, you know what, after the year we've had, you can't ask for better than that. Now, these squashes here have been plagued with powdery mildew all year. Yeah, well, you've seen me slice off their leaves really hugely. There's a Courgette there that's ready soon to come off. These guys are still trying. It's a yellow patty pan, this one. I believe it's a golden scallop. Yep, golden scallop, so we're just hoping that it'll come to something. More patty pans coming on this one. But they've been a lot later than the ones out the front. But that's okay. And whether these ones are going to be worth it, I don't really think so. And the marigolds, look at the size of those things. I've never seen marigolds grow that big. But we have an issue, which I'm going to have to deal with. But again, we've got a lovely little Nasturtium flower, which is really, really kind of cool. But major issue with black aphids in here, so we're going to have to get rid of them. They're all over the place, which is not great. But I haven't been out here to take care of them either, so, you know, it is what it is. Now, I'm going to take you guys up here a second, because we're actually getting some plums. We're going to get a couple of plums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, 6 is good. I got 1 last year. So that's a really good start. That's something. But these trees, once the tomatoes out, all of these pots, all of these trees are going into the polytunnel to protect them from the winter. The fig has dropped its leaves. It's done its dash for this year. We're at the beetroot bed where things are coming along wonderfully. And the second beetroot bed, which is awesome. Okay, and we have a volunteer nasturtium which has taken over the empty compost bed. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm hoping that you can. But that's olives. Those are olives growing. Like little fruits. The actual olives. Now I know we were covered in flowers. We probably won't get lots of them, but you know what? We're getting some of them. And that's exciting enough for me. You know? It is. Now, leftover beetroot. It's not as happy in there as it could be, but you know, it is what it is. And yes, the beans need doing. However, we're going to put them in the tomato pots that we've had to pull out the tomatoes from, because they're probably the only thing in the garden at the moment that can go in there and that we can make use of. We still have two tomato plants out here. One of them is a cherry and the other one, I think, might be one of our big raspberries. So we'll just have to see how we go with that. We've got the last of our Gold Rush courgettes that are growing here, and they've been taken over by yeah, that stuff. Powdery mildew, that's the stuff. But our herbs are doing pretty good, so that's good. That's a win. And if we come over here, Brassica Corner, as much as these got attacked, and they did badly, it's our fault, we're still getting a crop. Now we already got a crop from this, but it's already shooting off new shoots, so I'm all good with that. And these ones, they've all got their centres still, so we'll just see how we go. The butterflies are almost done, so yahoo! Okay, so as you can see, our garden has had a lot of losses, but it's also having a lot of wins. So if you balance them out, you know, and a lot of what we did this year was experimental. We didn't want to put a lot of money into the garden too much, because we know that we have a move that was supposed to happen by now, but it hasn't. So we're doing the best we can with what we've got. We're kind of treating it almost like a first year, but it isn't. But we're just, like I said, doing what we can with what we've got, and you can't ask for more than that. Every year is going to be different. Every year. When we first started doing the garden here, just about 3 years ago, it's been 3 years since I moved here, so year one we had the mother mint plants from there, and the rosemary, the thyme, the sage and the oregano that you see out the front, and that was it. That's all we had. We didn't have anything else, and it wasn't until last year that we started putting in veg, got the fruit trees, did all that kind of thing. And this year things have gone a little bit, you know, sideways, but we have other things that have been wins, big wins, and I'm not going to cry about that or let it get to me. There are other ways of doing what we want to do, and we're going to do them those ways for now. Yeah, so you're never going to have a perfect year in the garden. Something is always going to happen that derails something, and you know, everybody I know has been affected by blight in some way or another, whether it's early blight or late blight or something, whatever, but in some way they've been affected by it. When we move, I won't want to keep tomatoes in the polytunnel anymore. I feel like it's too humid in there for them. I would prefer them to be outside in a sunny position if possible. That way they can just, I will give them a bed that they can run amok in, and I will be happy with that. We've just got to wait and see where we get to move to and what happens. But like I said, you've got to look at the winds as well, and the winds we've had. I germinated nut trees, sweet cherries nut trees, which I have a gazillion of. I have 32 that survived. You know, that's pretty cool. I germinated 3 pistachio trees that people said would never happen. I've got all these beans sitting in front of me which have come out of our pantry. I didn't buy the seeds for them. They're part of what we eat. So they've come out of there. So what I've tried to show this year, I think, is you don't have to spend gazillions amount of money on fancy seeds and stuff, because let me tell you that the fancy seeds that I bought, the Franchi seeds I bought last year, where I spent probably close to £70 on, they have been some of the worst germinating, the worst productive, the worst seeds I bought. I didn't mind so much for the radishes because I wanted to grow a lot of them for the pods. As it was, I didn't get to the pods in time. I could still put some in if I wanted to. Do I want to? Probably not at this stage. I have to look at where my health is, and I have to look at what's going to be more important to me and my channel. And right now I think that's going to be stuff that I can do inside. I'm going to be possibly only putting out 2 videos or 1 video a month at the moment of what's going on in the garden, because quite frankly there's not a lot going on in the garden. And I can't be out here every week, or well, not every day, trying to put stuff together. So yeah, so you know, I think the only things now that we're going to be planting this year are going to be the garlic, so I can get those in. I don't buy seed garlic, I buy store-bought cloves. They're 5 times cheaper than the actual seed cloves, and they work better. They work the same. They don't work any different. Yes, I had to pull them out early this year. If I put them in containers this year, I don't have to do that, so I'm not that concerned. But yeah, so that's kind of where we stand at this point. That's our garden. That's what's going on. Don't let the losses outweigh the wins. The wins are what you need to put your focus into. And remember that every year is different, and never give up. Never give up. Nature knows what it's doing, and nature will do what nature does. Simple. Okay guys, I'm gonna go. Have a really, really awesome rest of your weekend or week or whatever, and I will see you again very, very shortly. Love you guys heaps. Blessings.